Animals make decisions based on reproduction, on food, and on safety all the time. Today we're going to be looking at the choice, the decision making of a gecko. Since you don't have access to animals in the lab, we're going to be watching a video. The video has an experimental setup that goes like this. There is a choice chamber, which is an area that limits the movement of the gecko, so it is forced to either be on a light side or a dark side. These sides are the same size to control for the area. And the gecko, here's my terrible gecko. The gecko has a choice to either be on the light side or the dark side. That's going to end up looking like this. You'll be taking data every 30 seconds, so your data table should look something like this. You should have the time, the number on the light, and the number on the dark. We'll consider any gecko whose head is on the light or dark to be on that color. So we're just going to look at the head. We are making this determination before the experiment starts to be as clear as possible as what we mean by on the light or the dark. So this gecko right here is on the light because its head is on the light. We'll just label this one light. This one is on the dark because its head is on the dark. This one's head is on the dark, even though it's off screen. And then this one's head is on the dark. So for this time point, we would write 3 dark and 1 light. Remember, we're taking data every 30 seconds for 5 minutes. So the first interval will be 30 seconds, the next interval will be 1 minute, the next interval will be 1 minute 30, the next minute 2 minutes 30, the next interval 3 minutes, the next interval 3:30, the next interval 4 minutes, the next interval 4:30, and then the last interval will be 5 minutes. After you take your data, you will have a total for the light and the dark. It might also help to make a table that illustrates what you predict will happen if there's no preference. We'll make this the null hypothesis table. What would your expected values be for a null hypothesis? Well, if you have 4 geckos and they have no preference, at every one of these intervals you would expect half of them to be on the dark and half of them to be on the light. Remember, they add up to 4. So you would expect them to be distributed evenly across every interval. This will help you when you're looking at the chi-squared statistic next. Once you get your table ready, we'll move on to the video and you can take the data on Rico the gecko and whether or not he has a preference for light or dark backgrounds.